Hi, Bill Caskey here, author of Same Game New Rules and co-host of the Advanced Selling Podcast. In this video today, I'm going to share with you some details of our webinar called How to Determine Client Motive. I'm also going to give you an illustration that I think will make a lot of difference for you in how you approach the market and how you interact with your prospect. You know, I've been in this training business for 25 years. Wow, that's a quarter of a century. That sounds like a long time. And I've seen a lot of selling systems and strategies and the next best thing come and go. And one of the things I feel is the reason they go so quickly is they aren't paying attention to what I think is one of the number one things you need to pay attention to, and that is how humans decide. Human nature is such a huge content and knowledge area for we salespeople and leaders that you need to make a study of human nature. Human nature is the key to all of this selling and leadership and everything. And so in this webinar, we're going to talk a lot about human nature. We're also going to talk about how sometimes we get in the way. I know you don't think you do, but a lot of times we've watched salespeople literally get in the way of someone buying, and of course we don't want that. I'm going to give you an illustration in just a minute that tells it all, and if you start to embrace this, like I said, I think it can change your sales life. We will give you the solution. It'll be a step-by-step path you can take that has exactly how you need to behave for the first 90 days. We'll also give you a 90-day plan so you can get up and running. And then, of course, we always do a first things first. So right out of the gate, what are the things you need to do? So let's talk about this illustration that I'm so high on. I heard about this many years ago, and I just refer to it as the Iceberg Theory. And the Iceberg Theory obviously states that a small percentage of the iceberg sits above the waterline, but a big part sits below. I think it's the same way in sales. When you go in and talk to a prospect, they have some conscious issues that are right on the table up front. They may share that with you. They also have things they lead with. So these are all the things above the waterline. It's not too hard to find these things. They're there when you show up. The problem is that this is where all the money is. This is where all the pain is for the customer. So unless you have a way to peer into this, you're only going to get 10% of the story. In fact, I believe that's the reason that closing percentages are so low, 5, 7, 8, 10%. So what happens beneath the waterline? These are the core issues. These are the things that really drive them, that they have dreams around, hopes around, they have objectives. Even if it's a purchasing agent or a professional buyer, they still have core issues. They have issues they need to accomplish in their business life. There's also all these emotional reasons for change. You know, when you go in and see a buyer, it's not just you and the buyer, it's all of their past and their scripts and their inner game and their expectations, and it's you and your parents on your shoulder and your spouse and any kind of manager that you have. There's all this very complex collaboration of issues that you've got to sort your way through. It's all down here, but you need a plan to do it. Third, there's the unspoken truth. Just like there's certain things the customer will lead with, certain things they won't lead with. You may be fortunate enough to get that information if you create the right atmosphere, which we'll talk about on the webinar, or you may not be, but recognize there are tons of unspoken truths down there. And the final thing is just really the essence of it all. It's what matters. This is what matters to the customer, the prospect, and it's what matters to you if you're attempting to influence or persuade them to do business. So we're going to be talking about all of these things, but I wanted to give you that today because I think it changes the way you might question people, approach people, set the upfront agreement with people when you're talking to them, because this is where your income and your success is, not up here. And in the webinar, we are going to go over those things step by step. I hope you'll join us. See you next time. Bye.